Jaguar has an interesting history. They're probably best known for the stunningly beautiful sedans, coupes, and convertibles that they designed in the 50s and 60s. The problem with Jaguar is they never really got past those designs. They embraced retro before retro was cool. Styling has been stuck in another decade for years, plus the hangover Jaguar has from the poorly built cars they built for so long has resulted in miserable sales around the world. This is the car that Jaguar hopes will turn things around, the XF. And the thing is, it looks nothing like any Jaguar we've seen before. They realized if they wanted to get new buyers to the brand, they couldn't continue to churn out the same looking car year after year. The XF is the sports sedan that Jag hopes will take on the BMW 5 Series, E-Class from Mercedes, the Audi A6, Lexus GS, and so on. So how are you going to get people into a Jag? Well, first of all, you have to come up with a well-designed car that has good quality and is priced less than everybody else. Okay, let's start with the design. The XF is a good-looking car from every angle but the front. The sleek silhouette, the touches of chrome, and the Aston Martin-inspired rear end all look great. It's just the front looks like a Hyundai Elantra, okay? I've come out and said it. An Elantra. Is this the best they could come up with? Really? All right, it does have Passat headlights, but that's not exactly good company either. The good news is, minus the front end, the rest of the car is spectacular. The XF looks like no other car in the class. The organic flowing lines are just what a Jaguar requires. The trunk is huge. This is a long car which might even attract buyers of bigger cars like the 7 Series or S-Class. The interior of the XF is just what you would expect from Jaguar. Beautifully finished. Everything is very subtle and sophisticated. There's a lot of silver used in the center console. I'm not a big fan. Some of the buttons look like kind of Sansui stereo from the 70s, but it wouldn't stop me from getting the car. It's really nicely done. Here's a bonus. You get 1, 2, 3 cup holders in the front. That's a beautiful thing. And when you start the car, watch this. The vents open up. That's kind of a tip of the hat to the Volkswagen Phaeton, which is long gone. Now, what you have here with the center console is a very intuitive design. You don't have a center console that is really overcluttered and hard to use like you get in other cars in this class. The other thing, when you start the car, this pops up. No, it's not an iDrive. It's the gear selector. You turn it back and forth to put the car in and out of gear, and it kind of makes sense. Once you put this big cat into gear and you pull away, you hear the muted sort of roar from the 4.2-liter V8. You see, the XF is only sold with a V8. It produces 300 horsepower. There is a more powerful version, though. It's the same engine, but a supercharger is bolted on, and that one gets 420 horsepower. The V8 is very lively. Even though it's rated at just 300 horsepower, it does a wonderful job of launching this big car with ease, and passing is very brisk. I can't imagine what the supercharged version is like to drive. The 6-speed automatic has a sport mode and the ability to shift from the steering wheel with paddle shifters. The cockpit is also very nice. These seats are very comfortable. You can tell that Jag and Volvo used to share the same stable at one time. It's very reminiscent of Volvo seats. The console is very close at hand. It wraps around the driver, so it's not only sporty but luxurious. The suspension is a wonderful balance of sophistication and performance. Drive the XF in a sedate manner and it gives a smooth ride. Throw the XF into corners and you quickly realize it's also a performance sedan. They can take on the best in this class, even the class-leading 5 Series. The XF feels light and matched to the very good engine and transmission is a lot of fun to drive. I gotta tell you, I had some doubts about the XF. I really didn't want to like a car that looks like a Hyundai Elantra. But you know what? I love this car. I love it a lot. Now here's the kicker. The XF is $10,000 to $20,000 cheaper than any other V8-equipped European luxury sedan in its class, except for the Volvo S80, which is only $5,000 more. The XF starts at $59,800. The premium luxury model is $65,800, and if you want the powerful supercharged model, it's $77,800. As I mentioned earlier, Jag is suffering from the hangover that they had from the poorly built cars they produced for quite a long time. If you ask 10 people on the street one thing about Jag, they would all say poorly built cars. But the opposite is actually true. That whole thing is behind them, well behind them. Ford might not have done a lot of things right when they owned Jaguar, but they did improve quality immensely. So, the Jaguar XF. It's well thought out, it's nicely packaged, and it's priced well below the competition. The styling's even growing on me. I think it's because I like the rest of the car so much, and the great thing is when you're driving it, you can't see the front of the car. I think they might just be turning things around, and hopefully they can keep the momentum going, just as Ford has sold Jaguar to Tata Motors of India. You know what? Jaguar might just be back.
For complete specs, go to our website at drivingtelevision.com.